Imagine this in 2026. Paramount buys Warner Brothers. David Zaslav is gone. James Gunn gets fired, and then Zack Snyder is finally brought back to finish his vision. Everyone's happy, right? Well, not exactly, because unfortunately, Hollywood isn't only about creativity, it's about the money. Because if you follow the money, this whole Paramount buying Warner Brothers thing is more complicated than even bringing back the Snyderverse. Bringing back Zack Snyder to complete his vision is way more expensive than retaining James Gunn, and here's why. Hey guys, I'm Ezuko and welcome back to the channel. So here's the deal. Warner Brothers has been drowning in debt for several years now. Sure, the streaming service is showing a little bit of promise, but the talk about selling Warner Brothers has been around for a while now. First, it was a merger with Discovery, but right now, it's looking like an outright sale. Honestly, if you ask me, I think the Zaslav was brought in to clean up the company a little bit, so that Warner Brothers can have a stronger bargaining power when it's time to sell. They will consider splitting the company into streaming/studios and the linear network. All of this makes Warner Brothers look so vulnerable, and that is where Paramount comes in. But when it comes to streaming services, they are nowhere close to big companies like Netflix, Disney+, HBO, and Amazon Prime. Buying Warner Brothers along with all those massive IPs and even huge streaming services like HBO would give Paramount that boost that they desperately need. But here's the big question. What does all this mean for DC? Personally, I see three scenarios that will play out. The first scenario would be Zack Snyder coming back to complete his vision. This is absolutely the dream scenario for Zack Snyder fans. But I think that's a little bit far-fetched, and here's why. Like I said earlier, we have to follow the money. What makes business sense to all these investors? I think bringing back Zack Snyder to complete his vision is way more expensive than retaining James Gunn. Let me explain. At this point in time, Zack Snyder is tied up in several other projects. The Snyderverse cast are now established actors. They are well known in the public. This means that they are now high-priced actors. And let's not forget about the baggages that some of these casts already have, both politically and personal-wise. Also, some of the casts are not willing to return even if everything is set in place, and some of them have already moved on to other things. Just compare that to the latest Superman movie. That movie made less money than Man of Steel movie, but yet it was more profitable. That's because the cast was cheap. This is exactly how Hollywood thinks, unfortunately. They always think about the money. If Snyder is to ever finish his vision, I think there are only two roads to achieving this, either through animation or an Elseworld project that has an entirely new cast. But I strongly doubt that will ever happen. The first scenario would be James Gunn being replaced. When new players step in, they will probably want to keep their own people in charge, someone they know and who already knows their own vision. But honestly, I don't think James Gunn is going anywhere unless his DCU totally flops, irreplaceably flops. The third scenario is if James Gunn stays, and that is the most logical and practical scenario. We've already seen this happen several times before. Disney kept Kevin Feige at Marvel. Pixar's leadership stayed after Disney bought them. Amazon bought MGM and didn't shake everything up right away. Even Lucasfilm still has Kennedy. So yeah, it wouldn't be a shock if James Gunn is left to continue running DC, especially at this point where DC is looking so promising to the general audience. And remember, acquisitions like this take a little bit longer than we expect. So by the time Paramount closes the deal, James Gunn might have already gone halfway into his plan. And at that point in time, it might be very difficult to stop things from rolling. By the way, all this is speculation as Paramount hasn't yet met that bid. We're not even sure yet if they'll fall through in placing their bid. So while it is fun in dreaming about Snyder returning and James Gunn being fired, let's come down to reality. The business of Hollywood doesn't really care about fan service but the money. They don't care about Gunn, they don't care about Snyder. All they care about is the money. And if sticking with James Gunn is more profitable and also cheaper, then that is exactly what they will do. But what do you guys think? If Paramount buys Warner Brothers, would you want Zack Snyder to be brought back? Or do you want James Gunn to remain as the head of this series? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I'm curious to know where you stand, and I'll respond to every single one of you. And hey, if you enjoyed this breakdown, please do wait to smash the like button and also the subscribe button. This still helps this channel to grow and make more people to discover this channel. You are free to share this to other DC fans if you want to, win an argument. I'm Ezuko. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.